the mystical aspects of the Bhagavad Gita and of the Mahabharata, all the ancient Indian texts, which are filled with really wild, out there shit.
The more you get into it, you realize, that's freaking real. Vimana is like a spaceship, and they speak of spaceships and flying crafts, but they're not made of the same elements of this earth.
We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the ancient Indian civilization and how it could possibly link to the existence of extraterrestrial life. In 1971, Eric von Daniken traveled to eastern India to meet with Professor Dilip Kanjalal, an expert in Vedic Sanskrit, an ancient language used in religious Hindu texts. Now, Professor Kanjalal had gone through old Indian texts and made modern versions of them, and what he found was mind-blowing. According to these ancient Vedic texts, the so-called gods used flying machines to travel from heaven to earth. They descended from the sky in flying vehicles called vimanas. And there are incredibly detailed descriptions of what these vimanas looked like, how they traveled, and what was needed to pilot them. Now, when Eric first encountered this information, he believed that these vimanas were real nuts and bolts aircraft, and that they were the vehicles of the ancient astronauts. And as he explored India, he realized that it was a treasure trove of evidence for the ancient astronaut theory. Throughout the country, there were magnificent temple towers referred to as stupas and vimanas, and Eric wondered where the form for these structures came from. What he discovered was that many Hindu temples in the Far East are actually representations of what was going up in the sky. The upper part of a Hindu temple, for example, is often seen as a flying object, a vimana, that the ancient Indians seem to have seen in the sky. Now, when we look at the most ancient records we have coming out of the Vedic texts in India, we find clear descriptions of aerial battles taking place in the manas, or the sky. And this starts to raise some interesting questions about our own cycle of history. Is it possible that we're just starting to rediscover ancient technology that existed thousands of years ago? Think about it. Ancient texts from all over the world talk about flying vehicles, people who could fly through the air, even flying horses. But it was Eric who really put it together, that the gods weren't just flying around like Superman. They had to get into some kind of nuts and bolts craft, just like we do, and go somewhere. And this was the chariots of the gods. However, there's more. The ancient texts also talk about sexual contacts between extraterrestrials and humans. According to the Book of Enoch, guardians of the sky, also known as fallen angels, came down to earth and had sex with human beings. And the offspring of these unions were giants. So what does this mean? Well, Eric's interpretation was that we are nothing else but hybrids of an extraterrestrial race that jump-started our civilization thousands and thousands of years ago. It's a wild idea, but when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Just look at all the amazing technological advancements we've made in just the past 100 years. If we can do that in such a short amount of time, imagine what we could accomplish if we had a little help from an advanced extraterrestrial race. And hey, maybe they're still out there somewhere watching us, waiting for the right time to reveal themselves. So, there you have it. The ancient astronaut theory, and the idea that extraterrestrial life may have played a crucial role in the development of human civilization. Whether you believe it or not, it's certainly a fascinating topic to explore. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep asking questions and seeking the truth.